Robinson.
The state tournament.
7 steals. Up ahead, Freeman lays it in.
We've all watched, but have you ever thought of what goes into it?
Oh, great shoot, take 2. Stand by White first.
Today, we'll go inside the broadcast
Roll number 3.
at the state tournament.
And I can't believe how strong this win is. It is bringing up
in the United States and around the world.
And now welcome inside the broadcast, everybody.
Also into the game, Jordan Munch. It is a tough night.
Emotion there, emotion there.
I had the privilege of directing the state tournament in Illinois for a couple of seasons. Today we're going to go back in time and go behind the scenes on one of those broadcasts. We have the area back here where cameras get shaded. So the shader has these levers here, and they're able to control the iris of the camera. They're also able to do camera painting as well. That would be putting your own colors on it and bypassing the white balance that's already set. Here's the actual camera control units for these cameras. These are CCUs. So the cameras run off of this. This is where they get their power from. Here's a wider view of the truck here. The truck's completely empty. We're all eating right now. You've got this back area for auxiliary stuff here. No specific positions here, but there could be. Here we have our actual bug box for the game. So it gets controlled off of this computer. And then you see a bunch of monitors here as well. Then we've got our graphics machine. It's Chiron for this specific show. You can see the blue keyboard for that. Coming to the front row of the truck, we have the area where the producer sits. Note that the producer has this intercom box presented by RTS intercom in this truck. This is where the director sits. In this case, that is me. Similar setup. You also have this board here that allows you to solo different audio sources. So here I've got talkback, which is from announcers. We've got sideline reporters. We've got announcer pre-fader. And then we've got the house audio, so PA audio. We have red, white, blue, and green. Those are the names of our replay sources that we're using on this particular show. Here we're using a Grass Valley Carrera switcher. You can see the touch panel for the Grass Valley Carrera switcher there. I think this switcher has 3 MEs. You also have EVS Spot Box. So that's how the technical director is able to call up replay moves and other sorts of things like that. We of course have a router next to where the technical director sits to be able to take care of all the monitors and other auxiliary sources. So here, these monitors are all routed by that router panel that you saw. Here's the program monitor here. That's what's going on air. And then here's the preview monitor. The technical director in this environment uses the preview monitor mostly for them, unlike a situation on a smaller show where the director would be saying ready, whatever, and then you would see that in the preview monitor. The technical director has their own flow for how to do this stuff. So here you also see this transmission path. Now this is what is actually going out to the local stations. But you will also see here, this is our Versio break server. So this is where all of our breaks are queued from. The network breaks, as we call them, are played from the truck. And we actually have a GPI trigger that fires that. We fire it with this button. The switcher GPI trigger was not working properly. But yeah, there's Versio. And those breaks are triggered from the truck. And then continuing to the back here, we've got our actual EVS machines. So this is the tape room. This is one of our EVS machines. On this show, I've nicknamed that red and white. So there you have that. Here's the multi-viewer associated for that. There's a larger router here for the replay operators to be able to route different sources in that they need. And then lastly, we've got the other replay machine here. So there you see a similar setup. The Versio server in this truck is actually being controlled from right here. Here is the Versio server right there that's playing out the breaks. So you've seen the video side of things, but what about the audio? James Skifter tells us more.
We're mixing everything on a Calric Artemis, a little bit of an older console, but it certainly gets the job done. We're set up with 8 mics on the court. A couple of extra mics on the cams at the end of each court, which I can use for reaction shots and getting players doing free throws. We've got headsets, of course, for the actual announcers themselves. And the rest of this is either buses or VCAs, or I've got playback units for when the director calls for video or for sound over video. And everything
Play some music for us too, if you will.
Oh, we got music right here. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this might be Justin's favorite track.
Can you show us how you play that?
Yeah. I find it's easier to just have everything on an iPad. So I preload my music ahead of time into an app called, what it's called, Soundboard Pro. And I basically just have pages of music for different scenarios. So I'm almost always on my bump music page. And whatever track I want to hear, I just tap on and it immediately starts playing to the board. And then if I want to fade it out, I can just tap it or I can fade it on the board. But it fades out nicely and mixes well.
So you've seen video and audio coming from the truck, but how does it get on the air? That is where the satellite truck comes in. The satellite truck takes our feed, encodes it into satellite speak, then bounces it off of a satellite in space where stations can pull it down. We also used a service called LiveView, which transmits on cellular data as a backup. I grew up watching the WIA basketball tournament in Wisconsin and had just as much enjoyment directing the IHSA tournament in Illinois. Shout out to Brendan Ford and Josh Morgan for keeping it fun. Let me know your thoughts on this video or if you have any questions about this type of production. Until next time, see ya inside the broadcast.